It's still dark out. You're lying in bed, fully awake, and you realize you are paralyzed. You are trapped in sleep paralysis, a state where your mind wakes up, but your body's muscle control remains turned off. You try to cry out, but you cannot. Standing at the foot of the bed are several small, gray, bald beings with enormous eyes. They float you out of your room and up into a metallic spacecraft. Inside, a larger being performs invasive medical procedures on you, probing your body and extracting genetic samples. You might be ushered into a separate room to stare at part human, part alien hybrid babies before these cheerless figures ooze you back through your bedroom walls. By the time you can move and talk, they are gone. These visceral accounts were given statistical weight in 1992, when a Roper opinion poll of nearly 6,000 Americans was interpreted to mean that if we assume aliens treat the rest of the planet equally, that translates to more than 100 million victims worldwide. However, that math reveals a logistical impossibility. To reach 100 million people over the past few decades, an alien abduction would have to occur every few seconds. It is highly improbable that millions are being snatched from their beds at this volume without a single neighbor, night shift worker, or security camera noticing. This leaves us with a stark choice. Either a massive, secret alien invasion is occurring globally, or millions of people share a colossal delusion. Determining the truth requires us to apply a rigorous burden of proof to every piece of evidence. The first failure of proof lies in the data itself. The organizers of the 1992 Roper poll never actually asked respondents if they were abducted. Instead, the researchers used deduction. They counted anyone who reported waking up paralyzed, sensing a presence, or having episodes of missing time as an abductee. They took common, well-documented biological and psychological events and relabeled them as proof of extraterrestrial encounters. Jumping to fantastical conclusions defined the modern UFO phenomenon from its very first day. In June 1947, pilot Kenneth Arnold reported seeing 9 peculiar objects flying near Mount Rainier. Arnold told the press that the objects flew erratically, like a saucer skipping across water. But the newspapers misunderstood him. They reported that he said the objects looked like saucers. Through this single misquote, the media coined the physical shape of the flying saucer, and people suddenly saw metallic frisbees everywhere. We saw a similar psychological trigger in 1957, when the Soviet Union launched Sputnik, the first artificial satellite. American UFO sightings immediately surged. 60% of all reports that year occurred in the 3 months following the launch. The implication is that the surge was driven by human media consumption and Cold War anxiety. People were looking at the night sky more often and misidentifying natural phenomena or new satellites as extraterrestrial flight schedules. While lights in the sky are easily misidentified, proponents often point to physical evidence as proof. In 1950, a best-selling book claimed the military recovered a crashed saucer containing 16 dead aliens. It turned out to be a scam run by 2 confidence men. When the alien technology they used as props was finally analyzed, it was revealed to be ordinary kitchen pot aluminum. Decades later, a much larger-scale puzzle appeared in the British countryside. Starting in the 1970s, immense, mathematically complex geometric figures began appearing in wheat and barley fields. Credentialed experts and politicians rushed to invent theories, suggesting these crop circles were caused by a plasma vortices or alien geometry. Because the patterns were large and appeared overnight, many insisted they were too sophisticated for human hands to create. The mundane truth emerged in 1991, when 2 men, Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley, confessed to creating the circles over 15 years. They used watercolor diagrams, ropes, and a simple wooden plank to flatten the crops, gradually increasing the complexity of their art to spoof the believers. Even after the men demonstrated their technique on camera, many experts refused to accept the confession. Their desire to believe in fantastical origins was so strong that they insisted the patterns were still the work of a superior intelligence. This desire for the extraordinary is often seeded by fiction long before any real-world sightings occur. Pulp magazines were exposing millions to stories of disc-shaped spacecraft and government cover-ups years before the term flying saucer was ever coined. When physical proof is subjected to the scientific method, it inevitably reveals human charlatanry or pranks. Our craving for attention, fame, or the extraordinary often overrides our basic logic. The alien phenomenon follows a recurring pattern of human crazes, from the tulip bubble of the 17th century to the 18th century animal magnetism craze, where aristocrats believed magnets could suck diseases out of their bodies. In each case, both the general public and highly educated experts were fooled, not by evidence, but by their own hopes and fears. We repeatedly see that a prestigious degree or social status is no shield against self-deception. The scientific method and the burden of proof provide a practical toolkit for navigating these deceptions in everyday life. They ensure we do not entertain any proposition with greater assurance than the proofs it is built upon will warrant. We already apply this skepticism when we question a used car salesman or a beer commercial. However, in a society awash in political messaging and complex advertising, those who seek to influence public opinion have a vested interest in discouraging that same level of critical thinking. Embracing a democratic application of skepticism means evaluating every bold claim with the same rigorous eye we use to dismantle the alien myth. Only by demanding airtight evidence can we separate extraordinary reality from popular delusion.